Now let's take a look at configuring DNS, and I just kind of want to show you a couple of the tools. First of all, if we go to the administrative tools and go to Server Manager, you will notice that under the roles, and I'm going to click on Go to Roles right here, it'll have to collect data on these things. If I look, you'll notice that I have DNS Server already installed. So that is a role that you'll have to set up. But since it's already here, we can see it's installed. So the first step to putting DNS out there is to go install that server role. The next thing, once that has happened and DNS is running, I can go back to the administrative tools and you will see DNS out there in those tools. And this will open up the plugin with the DNS Manager. I'll make that full screen. And notice, you remember in a different video we talked about reverse lookup zones and forward lookup zones, and here they are. We don't have any reverse lookup zones at this point. But if I click and expand the forward lookup zones, notice for the VTC class, I have noticed here's a host record. These are resource records. This is an A record. And this is just one of the most basics. It says for this particular server name, here's the IP address for it. And I can dig through some of these. This is the IP address for the server itself. Then I can expand this, and you can notice and you can see here that I have some other things. Notice these are SRV records. So if somebody's trying to find Kerberos Global Catalog, you can see that it is pointing out to this particular server. The server name, notice .vtc.class. I can right click on this and go to Properties, and I can see all kind of information out here, and I can even look at security on this. If I go to the server itself and right click, I can create a new zone here, and I can tell it whether I want it to be a primary, secondary, or stub, whether I want to store it in Active Directory. And notice you can only do a primary in Active Directory. And then, well, you can do a stub there, but we won't get into that right now. A lot of things I can set out here just by going in and looking around. Now notice that if I go into VTC class, I can right click here and add a new host record manually. And so I could put a name in here like Mark, and notice it has put mark.vtc class for me, and I could put 192.168.2.115, and I can tell it to create a pointer record for me. That's going to be a reverse lookup record, and allow any authenticated user to update them with the same owner name. We won't get into all that, but I will create this, and it's giving me a problem on my reverse pointer, and it didn't do that. We won't get into that right now, but notice there's my new A record. Now if I wanted to point to an Exchange server, I could create an MX record here, and this is going to be a fully qualified domain name of a mail server. I have to put that, and I can put priorities on it. So this is how you're going to configure DNS. And so again, to prepare for the exam, what we've talked about in the other videos about DNS, and then just getting out here playing with that, I would go out and install DNS on a machine just like we did in the Active Directory installation videos. Then go out there and play with it just a little bit, and just kind of get used to the terminologies and the different configurations that you can do. And again, go out to TechNet, read the Microsoft DNS stuff, and you should be able to pick your way through these exam questions pretty easily.